Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's always a pleasure to have you here, and today I've got something really exciting to share with you. We're going to take a deep dive into the 2025 Ford Puma, which has quickly become one of the most talked about and popular cars in the UK right now. If you've been following the news, you'll already know that the Ford Puma has been topping sales charts across the country and is leading the pack as Britain's best-selling car. So in this video, we'll explore exactly why the Puma has captured the attention of so many drivers, what makes it stand out from the competition, and whether it really deserves the hype. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear idea of what the 2025 Puma offers and whether it might just be the perfect car for you. Now, before we get started, let's set the scene. The Ford Puma was originally a sporty little coupe back in the late 90s, loved for its compact size and sharp handling. But Ford revived the name in 2019, this time as a compact crossover SUV, and it's safe to say it was a bold move. Instead of being just another small hatchback, the Puma tapped into Britain's growing love affair with SUVs, combining the practicality of a crossover with the agility of a hatch. Fast forward to 2025, and the latest version of the Puma has built on that success with updated styling, improved technology, and of course, the introduction of the much-anticipated electric version, the Puma Gen-E. This blend of familiar appeal with modern updates is one of the key reasons it's become such a hit in the UK. Let's start with the design because that's often the first thing people notice. The 2025 Puma retains its sporty and athletic look, with a sleek front end, bold headlights, and a slightly aggressive stance that sets it apart from some of the more conservative compact SUVs on the market. It's a car that looks youthful and energetic without being over the top. Ford has done a great job of giving it a sense of character that appeals to both younger buyers and families alike. The latest updates bring in sharper LED lighting, a tidier front grille, and new alloy wheel designs that really help it feel fresh and modern. It's not an SUV that looks boxy or clumsy, it feels well proportioned, with curves in the right places, and that gives it a sporty presence on the road. Inside, Ford has really stepped up its game. The interior of the 2025 Puma feels more upmarket than ever before, and that's an area where customers in the UK have been paying close attention. People want a cabin that not only works well day to day but also feels comfortable and stylish. You'll find high-quality materials, soft-touch plastics, and well-designed controls that give the cabin a premium feel, even in the entry-level trims. One of the biggest changes for 2025 is the technology. Ford has introduced the latest Sync 4 infotainment system, complete with a large 12-inch central touchscreen that's clear, fast, and packed with features. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come as standard, along with built-in navigation, voice control, and over-the-air software updates. This means the system is always up to date without the need for dealership visits. On top of that, there's a fully digital driver's display, which can be customized to show everything from navigation instructions to efficiency data. This is particularly useful for those choosing the hybrid or electric versions of the Puma, as you can easily monitor your battery range and power usage. The overall layout of the cabin is very driver-focused, with controls that are intuitive and easy to reach, which makes daily driving that little bit less stressful. But of course, practicality is a huge part of why the Puma has become so popular. One of its cleverest features is the so-called Megabox, hidden under the boot floor. This is essentially a waterproof storage compartment that adds an extra 80 liters of space, complete with a drain plug. It means you can carry muddy boots, sports gear, or even plants from the garden center without worrying about making a mess. It's simple, but it's brilliant, and it's something that really sets the Puma apart from rivals. The boot itself is generous for a car of this size, offering more than enough room for a weekly shop, a pushchair, or a couple of suitcases for a family holiday. Rear passenger space is also decent, with enough legroom and headroom for adults, though like many compact SUVs, it's most comfortable with two in the back rather than three. Now, let's move on to performance, because this is where the 2025 Puma continues to shine. One of the reasons it's been so successful in the UK is the way it drives. Unlike many crossovers that can feel a bit dull or top-heavy, the Puma delivers a genuinely enjoyable driving experience. The steering is sharp and responsive, the suspension strikes a great balance between comfort and agility, and the overall feel is very similar to the Ford Fiesta, which it's based on. That means it's great fun around town, easy to park, but also capable of holding its own on faster country roads and motorways. In terms of engines, Ford has kept things simple but effective. There are mild hybrid petrol options that use a 1.0-liter EcoBoost engine, delivering strong performance and excellent efficiency. These are perfect for drivers who want a balance between fuel economy and everyday usability. Then, for 2025, we've also got the Puma Gen-E, the fully electric version. This is a huge step forward for Ford and for the Puma itself. The Gen-E offers a range of around 250 to 300 miles on a single charge, depending on the version, which is competitive for a compact electric crossover. It supports fast charging, so you can top up from 10 to 80% in under half an hour at a rapid charger. For many British drivers, that makes it a very practical option, whether you're commuting, running errands, or taking longer trips. The Gen-E also benefits from instant torque, so it feels quick and responsive in city driving. It's quiet, smooth, and refined, which adds a premium feel to the experience. And because it's electric, running costs are low, cheaper charging compared to petrol, lower servicing costs, and of course, zero emissions while driving, which is becoming increasingly important with clean air zones across UK cities. For those who aren't ready to make the jump to full electric, the mild hybrid petrols are still fantastic, offering low running costs and reduced emissions compared to traditional engines. Safety is another key area where the Puma excels. The 2025 model comes packed with driver assistance features as standard, including automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, and blind spot monitoring. Higher trims add even more, such as a 360-degree camera system, traffic sign recognition, and semi-autonomous parking assist. These features not only give peace of mind but also make everyday driving easier, particularly in busy urban areas where hazards can appear suddenly. The Puma has consistently scored highly in safety tests, and the latest model continues that trend, which is a huge selling point for families. Now, let's talk about value for money, because that's always an important consideration for UK buyers. The Ford Puma has always been competitively priced, and while the 2025 model comes with more features and technology, it remains good value compared to rivals like the Nissan Juke, Vauxhall Mokka, and Volkswagen T-Cross. The entry-level trims provide plenty of equipment as standard, and leasing deals on the Puma tend to be particularly attractive, which is one reason it's been so popular in the fleet and personal contract hire market. Running costs are low thanks to efficient engines and hybrid tech, and resale values remain strong, which means you're less likely to take a big hit on depreciation compared to some competitors. So, why has the 2025 Ford Puma become the UK's best-selling car? It really comes down to a combination of factors. It's stylish and sporty without being impractical. It's fun to drive yet still comfortable for families. It offers clever features like the Megabox that make life easier. The technology is up to date and user-friendly. It comes with efficient petrol options and now a strong electric version, giving buyers more choice. And finally, it's priced in a way that makes sense for British drivers, especially when paired with attractive finance and leasing options. When you put all of this together, it's easy to see why so many people are choosing the Puma over rivals. It's not just a car that ticks boxes on paper, it's a car that feels right to drive, fits seamlessly into everyday life, and carries a badge that people trust. Ford has built on decades of experience with cars like the Fiesta and Focus, and they've channeled that into making the Puma a crossover that appeals to a broad audience. Of course, no car is perfect, and the Puma does have a couple of drawbacks worth mentioning. Rear space, while decent, isn't the largest in the class, so if you regularly carry tall passengers in the back, you might find it a little tight. Also, while the electric Gen-E is a fantastic addition, charging infrastructure in some parts of the UK can still be patchy, so it may not suit everyone just yet. And as with many cars, prices have crept up slightly compared to a few years ago, so it's not as cheap as it once was. But overall, these are relatively small compromises compared to the many strengths it offers. So, if you're in the market for a new compact SUV in 2025, the Ford Puma deserves to be at the very top of your list. Whether you go for the efficient mild hybrid petrol or take the plunge with the new Gen-E electric version, you're getting a car that combines style, practicality, fun, and value in a way that very few rivals can match. It's no wonder it's become Britain's favorite car. And that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed this in-depth look at the 2025 Ford Puma. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, it really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments below. Would you choose the new Puma as your next car, or are you leaning towards one of its rivals? I'd love to hear your opinions. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our latest car reviews, news, and updates. Thanks so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.